Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Rich Latta here, back with another video. The WNBA Draft of 2025 is in the books. Paige Bueckers goes number 1 to the Dallas Wings. Number 2, Dominique Malonga to the Seattle Storm. Number 3, Sonia Citron and Kiki Iriafen, 3 and 4. Going to the Washington Mystics. Number 5, Justy Jokti, and I'm probably butchering her name, is going to the Golden State Valkyries, who are doing this international thing where they have 10 international players. That's quite a lot. I would love to know if Mark Cuban is on the ownership board somewhere. Number 6, Georgia Amore, also going to Washington, who kind of did a hell of a job in this draft. The Connecticut Sun, who also had a lot to add to the team. Basically, they have a barren wasteland. Picked up Anissa Morrow and then Sanaya Rivers with back-to-back picks. Number 9, kind of a reach here, kind of a shock. I didn't expect this. I thought they might go Haley Van Lith here, but they got Sarah Ashley Barker from Alabama. Sharpshooter, scored 45 points in the tournament. I think we all kind of saw this was going to be somebody that got into a draft board somewhere. Number 10, back-to-back picks, the Chicago Sky, Asia Sivka and Haley Van Lith. Number 12, Isaiah James. Haley Van Lith being with Angel Reese once again. They are going to be playing the Indiana Fever 5 times this year. That's right. Caitlin Clark is going to whoop that ass for old time's sake. I try not to curse on the channel often, but I can't think of any other words that I'd rather say there. I think it is hilarious to see the interview that Haley Van Lith gave after, where she proclaimed to be excited about reuniting with Angel Reese, but, you know, the facials kind of told slightly a different story. Looking at that first round, I am not so much a Kiki Iriafen fan. I think she might struggle. I think her game is kind of black hole-ish. I think there's a better power forward kind of already on the roster with Aaliyah Edwards. I think Dominique Malonga is fascinating. I feel like in conventional wisdom, as far as like if this thing was running like the NBA, she probably would have gone first overall. 4 years younger than Paige Bueckers, probably 4.5 depending on when the birthdays fall, but she can already dunk. She moves incredibly, like with the footwork. She can put the ball down. She can run the floor well. Soft touch around the rim, and that youth, like, it's so valuable. But things in women's game don't always go like that. So this is akin to me like looking at a Jay Williams and a Yao Ming. It's like, man, you gotta take Yao Ming, and that's why they took Yao Ming in the NBA. But Paige Bueckers has been locked in from seemingly the time she was born to being the number 1 pick in whatever draft she was in. It's interesting why she didn't come out last year. I don't know why, but I would imagine that she did very well for herself in NIL money and everything else that goes along with it. Wanted to win that championship with UConn, and she ended up accomplishing that goal. Can she be a game changer for the Dallas Wings? I don't know. The same pressure doesn't seem to be on her that it was for Caitlin Clark last year. Natural comparison. I'm not going to run away from it. And I think that, expecting her to average 15, 5, and 5, I don't think that is too much, especially for how great that so many people have proclaimed her to be. I've never really looked at her as anything other than just another good player. So, she'll probably be a multiple-time All-Star and stuff like that. But as far as somebody that's going to break the sport or just something we've never seen, that doesn't seem to be the thing with her, at least in my estimation. Georgia Amore at 6 to the Mystics. Now, 5'6", been kind of counted out, but kind of a flashy game to her. I think that she is going to become a star for some reason. I think she's going to have kind of a cachet amongst the fans to where they are going to like her a little bit. Sonia Citron, number 3, being touted as this defensive prospect. I think that it's going to be a minute before we can crown you as a defensive ace. You're not going to walk in the league as a rookie doing this unless you're Leonie Fibich, who was already an international player, and she's like 28 years old. You're just going to have to learn how to guard because there's a lot of great players in the league. Anissa Morrow, there's going to be plenty of opportunities to get double-doubles like she did at LSU. At Connecticut, there's going to be a lot of missed shots for her to get. Only her and Marina Mabry are really bucket getters there. So we'll see how the Sun do. It's been bombed out and depleted, but the Sparks, as I mentioned, take Sarah Ashley Barker, 3-point shooter, 45 points in the tournament. I don't really know too much about her game, but she's being talked about as a 3-point threat and a defensive specialist. So 3-and-D, you can't really go wrong. You can find, a spot for her pretty much on any team with her skill set. About 6 foot tall, so she will play as kind of a hard-nosed style, so they're going to need some toughness on that team. So I think she can definitely give that to her. So very intense player from everything that I've gathered. Now, in the second round, it's not like the NBA where, it's just bombed out and depleted and you just try to find money. There are usually good players that are hanging around in the second round. And I'll start with, who the Indiana Fever got. They picked up Michaela Timpson from Florida State, who, when you watch her highlights and you think about the role that she can fill in this team, somebody that can swat jumpers, run the floor, rim run, and also shoot threes. Michaela Timpson is a very exciting prospect. Future all-star potential? Possibly. So I'm not going to run from her. Hopefully she makes the team. I saw so many things that make her a perfect weapon for Caitlin Clark. Similar in a way like an Amari Stoudemire would be as to Steve Nash, the way that Michaela Timpson looks like she may fit potentially one day alongside Caitlin Clark. Tahina Powell is from South Carolina. Will be playing at my local team, the Atlanta Dream. They definitely were going to need some shooting. Carl Smesco, I believe is his name, the coach from Florida Gulf Coast. They want to shoot a lot of threes. Tahina Powell did not really hit threes like that in the Final Four, but she's been a great shooter, kind of reinvented her game from being a point guard to a shooter from what I've gathered. The Indiana Fever also took Bree Hall from South Carolina. Bree Hall will probably be a more valuable asset if she makes the team as a perimeter defender. And if you can knock down a spot up 3-pointer, that's all you got to do to get on the floor, it looks like. I know a lot of people were wondering about Lucy Olson. She ended up with the Washington Mystics as the 23rd pick. So shout out to her for, getting in the draft. She obviously had the tall task of stepping into Caitlin Clark's shoes as the leading scorer at Iowa. And she's, a pure scorer in her own right. And, she developed, at Iowa, some of the point guard skills she was needing to jump to the professional level. And, I think, in the long term, she's going to have to become a really knockdown shooter. It's just the way the league is going, the 3-pointer will be her best friend and biggest asset. And, they had the third round of the draft and all that, but nothing I really feel comfortable talking about. But I would say that this draft, almost the story of it was almost who was not in the draft. All the stars really feel like they're still in college, like a Flau'jae Johnson, Olivia Miles, obviously Juju Watkins, even though the knee, Tanaya Latson, Lauren Betts, Aaliyah Chavez coming in as a freshman. So college basketball is still going to be pretty strong next year. This draft, it looks like the Rookie of the Year is Paige Beckers for the taking. If Dominique Malonga manages to play her way onto the court in an undeniable fashion, I think we may have some kind of discussion there, but anybody else I don't really see stepping into threatening Paige. So what did you think about the 2024 draft? I think the Indiana Fever got a steal. I think that, I'm be interested to see how all those rookies in Washington do, because they desperately needed some help, and they've got at least named players, and they've got people that could turn into something. I don't think all of them will work out, but at least one or two of them will come through as long-term players. The Golden State Valkyries continue to commit to this international vision of how they want to play, and God bless them. At least it's a team that has decided on an identity, and, I think teams really kind of have the freedom to run their squads how they see fit. I think there's a interesting through line with some of the squads, but we'll save that for another day. Anyway, my name is Rich. Let me know what you thought about the 2025 WNBA Draft. I'll let y'all. Peace. One lifetime.